Let's talk about flashers. When you select a flasher, you need a ball bearing swivel. Look how nice that spins. You might have picked up too that last fish that we caught, we used what was called a chartreuse. I've been experimenting with painted colors. A bright, kind of a yellowish lime color sometimes is good. But this chrome, the old standby, I tell you what, can't go wrong with it. We're going to stick this in the water now, and I want to show you just what you're supposed to look for. A boosh, boosh, boosh. You need a good rotation, and I'm going to show that to you right now. Okay, see that flasher, the way it's rotating? That's what you want. A nice smooth action. Notice the fly working behind it. A nice darting motion. We're going to go ahead and troll this on the surface here just for a few minutes and show you what we're trying to accomplish. Nice smooth rotation. You see how that is? And a little bit later on, I'll show you an underwater shot of that same flasher and fly and how fish should go ahead and try to hit it. But right now, just focus on that for a minute because that's critical to adjusting your boat speed. You want to catch some fish, fine. Boat speed's critical. Right now, that's what you're looking for. Let's talk now about how to make your herring fillet. And yes, it's true. This is one of the only videos that I've showed really what I'm doing, my secret. I do use WD-40. Okay? I also use pure anise extract. Now, anise extract, you can get it at any grocery store. It's not a real problem. Okay? What I do is I take a little bucket or a little plastic dish. You're going to need a pair of scissors for this. A sharp pair of stainless steel scissors. I take the anise extract right here and I open it up and I dump the whole 2 ounces, or the ounce, it's 1.5 ounces into it. Okay? I then take WD-40. Now I don't put 2 ounces of WD-40. A lot of people ask me, Doc, what's your mixture ratio? Well, this is my mixture ratio. About this much WD-40 right there. Okay? So now I have 1 ounce of anise oil, about 3 or 4 or 5 seconds of WD-40. The next thing that I wanted to show you is how I cut my herring fillet. Okay? Just take a sharp knife and make a fillet, just like so. And as I work down this herring, I have a fillet. I'll take the fillet and I'll stick it in the bucket of the marinade. Let it kind of soak in those juices. Let's make another fillet, and then I'm going to get the scissors out and show you really what the secret is. It's real easy. Just make a nice fillet. Now there's some areas of this herring that I particularly enjoy. I'll show that to you. I like the shoulder area right in here. This is one of my favorite areas, right through here. And if you turn this over, you'll notice that there's a line that separates the meat. You either want this dark meat or the white meat. You don't want to include that line because it tends to flare out in the water. Okay? Take your scissors and make like a pennant or a necktie or a kite. You just want a little strip of meat. Like so. This strip of meat goes in your container and marinates in those juices. Take another fillet here that I've done. I'll show you another one. And you'll notice that after a while it starts to get kind of a leather hard texture to it. I think that's a chemical reaction with the WD-40 and the anise oil. There's another strip. Okay? Now we're going to go ahead and stick this strip right on the fly, run it behind the blade and put her down about 160 feet. A lot of times when you're out here fishing for spring kings, if they're not in close to shore, they're generally out in the middle. And we're going to cover on the chart a number of different places too coming up. But right now, it's important that you fish deep for these kings. They're on the bottom. Let's take the hook. Leader length is real important. Here's how you adjust it. If you have a 12 to 15 inch leader, you need a leader length of about 30 inches. If you have a small little herring dodger, you need a leader length of about 24 inches. Now here's how you fine tune yourself. Did you hook the fish in the lip area here? If you did, add a ½ inch to an inch of leader. Did you snag the fish? If you did, shorten your leader. Ideally, it's like what I showed you earlier with that fish. Those hooks were going through the mouth, coming out the eye, up into the nose or the mouth of the fish. That gives you your best holding power. My hooks are all designed to do that because of the way that I've designed them and built them, the bend that goes upward. And we've talked about that in other videos. But now, let's put this in the water and see if we can't get ourselves a spring king. What I do is I've been letting this marinate a little bit in the anise oil. I'm going to go ahead now and stick it right on this hook like so. So it's on that first hook. Not the trailing hook, but the top hook. And that makes it perfect right there. Then the fly complements that by going down over the top of it. Notice how long my leader is and that my leader is not kinked or anything. Don't let your leaders get kinked. It's real important to have long, free-flowing leaders. Okay? Okay. Let's talk about how to put this whole thing together now. First of all, I want to introduce you to Gordon. This is the downrigger called Gordon. Whenever you see me at a boat show or whatever, come up to me and ask me the story behind Gordon. Kind of a special one there. This rod, if you look at this, is solid bamboo. This was my grandfather's. This reel here was my father's. And the guy that had this downrigger was Gordon. There's a story behind all of these things. So it's kind of a fun thing for me to put this into the water. And hopefully we can knock down a big one, especially on a bamboo rod. Everybody talks about graphite and glass. Ha! Doc uses bamboo. Okay, let's put this together and see if we can't catch something. The first thing you want to do in downrigger fishing, put the rod in the rod holder. Get it out of your hands. The next thing you do is hook up the release clip. So it looks like so. Now, when you put the weight in the water, don't drop it in. You just slowly lay it in the water. Like so. Okay? Now, if you notice over here, I have a handle that can move back and forth. And I have a rope that I go ahead and I put on the handle, and that keeps it from spinning. The reason I do this with this type of downrigger here is this is my control. I run the weight down till I feel it bounce on the bottom like so. Then, once it hits, I go ahead and I bring it back up a turn or two. Okay, that's what it's all about, downrigger fishing. As soon as you feel the weight bounce to the bottom, bring it up a turn. I look at that and I'm in 95 feet. Then I know how far down to put my other downriggers. It's real important in doing that.